infinite kindness. Compassionate love, more meaningful than loving kindness, more religious. Compassionate love. So loving kindness also, there is some sort of link with emotional, some sort of attachment, loving kindness. When you say compassionate love, completely free from all the bondages and attachments. Because I choose from here and there which are useful for you. Three stanzas together. Right? Attham hi jatam hi sukha sahaya. Tutti sukhaya itari tarena. Punyang sukhang jivita sangkhayang hi. Satvassa dukkhassa sukhang pahanang. Sukha matteyata loke. Ato petteyata sukha. Sukhang yava java silang. Sukha saddha patittita. Sukho punyassa patilabho. Papanang akaranang sukhang. Attham hi jatam hi sukha sahaya. Tutti sukhaya itari karena. Punyang sukhang jivita sangkhayang hi. Satvassa dukkhassa sukhang pahanang. Sukha matteyata loke. Sukho petteyata sukha. Sukha kamanyata loke. Apo kamanyata sukha. Sukhang yava jara silang. Sukha sattva patittita. Sukho punyassa patilabho. Papanang akaranang sukhang. Three stanzas together, all are related. Meaning, when need arises, person is to have friends. Person it is to be content with just this and that. Person is married when life is at an end. Person is the shunning of all ill. So this word you can understand very easily, sukha. Same meaning. Attham hi jatam hi sukha sahaya. Whenever we have some work, whenever we need others' support, at least moral support, whenever we are in trouble or we are sick, at that time we feel the importance of friends. Why friends are important? Real friends come to assist us, give their support, moral support, reduce our fear and tensions and worries, to console us in various ways. That is why it is mentioned in another place, Vissasa Paramanyati, in the sayings of the Buddha. The reliable or trustworthy friends are the real relatives. Not because that we had some blood relationship with others. Those who have some blood relations claim something. They say, we are bound to do something for them because of that blood relationship. If not, they can accuse or blame. But friends are not like that. The Buddha says, Vissasa, reliable, trustworthy. Friends are the real relatives. Because without any blood relationship, they come to give their support, give their helping hand when their services are needed or when we are in trouble. So friends are very important. In Mangala Sutta also, the Buddha mentioned, those who have good friends, who develop their understanding, mutual understanding, are blessed. They are very fortunate. Because there are many things that they can do for their friends to release their worries and fear and suffering, to give them some sort of confidence, especially when they are very sick. At that time, we need their support. So there are many things that they can do for us to console us. When we have frustrations or unsatisfaction, disappointment, they can give us confidence. Therefore here, the Buddha says, Attham hi jatam hi sukha sahaya. So when we need some services, then we feel the importance of friends. The next line, Tutti sukhaya itaritarena. This one we always discuss. One who is contented always experience sukha. No worries, no jealousy, no anger, no enemies, no problems, no troubles, no violence, because they are contented. So when we are contented, we can avoid so many problems. It is due to contentment is one of the greatest achievement. Santutti paramang dhana. Here the Buddha says, Santutti, contentment or satisfaction. Paramam, highest. Dhanan, wealth. Highest wealth is contentment, not the property. Property cannot give contentment. Property develops fear, worries, suspicion, uncertainty, insecurity, jealousy, anger, enemies, so many problems. But one who is contented, that contentment he takes as wealth. Because of that wealth, he experiences security, happiness, satisfaction, and peace. So by reducing our crazy attitude towards so many things, the more we become humble or simple, the more we experience happiness in our life. But the trouble is, we are going on adding more and more gadgets in our life, in our dress, in our food, in our enjoyment. We are going on increasing. And now we do not know where we are. We cannot go down. We cannot slow down. Because we were caught. And then we struggle. The problems, disturbances come to us because of these extra gadgets that we increase. I think you can remember I have told you a Muslim scholar, what he has said about 100 years ago. In Urdu language, he has written a beautiful poem. He says, if you want to see the most contented, the happiest man in this world, look at that prince who is in beggar's clothing. Referring to the Buddha. He is a prince, but wearing a beggar's clothing. But the most contented and happy human beings on this earth. This clearly shows, the more we become humble and simple, we increase the values in our life. Human values we can see, they are not in our dress. There is no human values in our dress. The more we become simple, then we increase the values. So by considering this very carefully, in various discourses, the Buddha has mentioned this. Santutti paramang dhana. Try to maintain contentment as much as possible. When people ask, if we maintain some sort of contentment, thinking this is enough, there is no development. And what sort of development do they expect? If there is no happiness, if there is no security, if there is no safety, if there is no freedom, what sort of development they can gain by developing their greed and selfishness? They never gain any satisfaction. Invite more trouble, more headache, more problems. Then, the more we become humble, then nobody wants to disturb us. Nobody wants to criticize or condemn or accuse or blame. And no jealousy, no anger. We will be free from all these things if we can reduce too much of crazy attitude towards the pleasure as well as towards the way of life. Otherwise, there is no end. It's a very big battle. We will be free from this battle if we can maintain this contentment. Contentment does not mean that you should not work. You had to work, you had to earn, you had to work very hard. But after gaining what you needed for you and for your family to maintain, to sustain everything, that is called contentment. Now this is enough. We don't know to go beyond that. That is called content. So that is the second sukha here according to this. Tutti sukhaya itaritarena. Punyang sukhang jivitang sankayampi. Punya is the real happiness that gives us confidence. Our property cannot give us confidence, uncertain. Property can be destroyed by fire, flood, or thieves, if not bluffing, cheating, stealing, uncertain. The government also can confiscate anytime, uncertain. But punyang sukhang jivitang, for a life most reliable, unchangeable property or sukha or the happiness is our own good karma. Punya means our own good karma. This good karma, this punya, no one can destroy. God also cannot destroy. The Buddha also cannot destroy. Devils also cannot destroy. No one can steal. There is nobody in this world who can destroy your good karma. And also bad karma. No one can destroy. But you can destroy if you know the technique. Others cannot do it. So if you know that you have accumulated, you have performed enough punya, enough merit for you to maintain your life within this lifetime, especially hereafter. Because within this lifetime, we are spending what we have earned, accumulated during the previous birth. Spending. So while spending the good merits, we are also going on accumulating fresh karma. Just like your bank account. What you have deposited, you withdraw. After that, you go and deposit some more. It's exactly like this. So you should not waste all your good karmas that you have accumulated during your previous birth without accumulating fresh karma for your future. So there is nobody else to take the responsibility of your life. Remember that. You cannot depend on Buddha, you cannot depend on God, you cannot depend on relatives or friends, individuals. My own karma is responsible for my life. And your karma is responsible for your life. Therefore, it is your duty to accumulate good karma if you want to carry on your life smoothly, peacefully, without facing problems and disturbances, shortcomings. That is why here the Buddha says, Punyan Sukhang Jivitang. So especially when you grow old, when we are weak, then we had to recall, remember all the good deeds, all the merits, the services that we have done. Then gives a lot of happiness. At that age, we gain happiness by thinking all the good deeds that we have done earlier. Not by thinking how we enjoy our life when we were young. That never gives happiness. Since our senses are not very active at that age, our mind also not very sound, physical body also not strong enough, we create some sort of frustration, disappointment. When we see how others enjoy their life, we feel very sad. Because when we grow old, when the body grows old, our cravings never grow old. Remember that. Craving become younger, more alert, because cannot satisfy craving. Then we increase more and more craving. So only thing that can console us at that stage is our own karma. So I have done all these good things. You have to record. Keep a good record what you have done, what you have donated, what kind of services you have rendered. Then when you are free, read. Gives happiness. But don't record all the bad things you have done. That will disturb your mind. So, those days actually it was a very common practice. Especially a well-known person like kings and the ministers, the rulers, they record all the good deeds that they have done earlier. So when we grow old, then when they cannot read, then ask somebody to read all the good deeds that this person has done earlier. Then that gives happiness. When we develop happiness in our good deeds, we multiply, we increase few degrees in our merit. This is another advantage. Especially certain meritorious deeds, just like contributing to put up this kind of religious building, contributing to erect the Buddha image, or contributing to printing religious books, or helping those poor students for their education. So when you see those places those persons, you gain wonderful happiness. Every time when you enter into this building, if you have donated even $5 or $1, or I also donated for this building, then happiness. When the merits also increase and increase and increase. Many people do not know that. Multiply. So, that is why it is necessary to record all the good deeds. That you can multiply, increase to degrees by gaining happiness in your meritorious deeds. So after that we can develop hopes and confidence in our life, thinking that my life cannot become a miserable one hereafter. That is very important. That is what many others are doing. When people are very weak, very sick, when they are going to die, the other religious group approach them. So now, time has come for you to develop your faith and belief toward the God. The God will send you to heaven. Be happy. Develop this faith and confidence. At that moment, that man, that is a very good thing. He take this as true. Because the mind is very weak. So, but here the method introduced by the Buddha, not to depend on others, not to depend on God, but to depend on our own good karma, what we have done, more reliable. Then certainty is there. It is not uncertain. Because we know the good effect. So the life can become more meaningful, more peaceful, more happy, more prosperous one. When we develop this, create this, recall all our good deeds into our mind. So when we come to a certain age, we had to reduce our mind from many of those worldly bondages and responsibilities and commitments. And then we get the chance to maintain peace, relax. And then remember the good deeds, meritorious deeds, services that we have done to release other sufferings and worries and disturbances. Then if we die, when such thoughts are functioning, active in our mind, it is impossible for that person to be born as an animal, or spirit, or devil, or ghost, or hell, or unfortunate life. If not, there is another advice. It is in Maha Samaya Sutra. Mention this. When someone is going to die, if that person has not done enough meritorious deeds, and now it is too late to do some meritorious deeds, so what to do? Yekechi buddhang saranang gatate nate gamissanti apaya pahaya manusang dehang devakayang paripuresanti. This you can see in Mahatama Sutra, in Paritta chanting book. The meaning is, When someone takes refuge in the Buddha, that means they recall the Buddha into the mind. We accommodate the Buddha in our mind at that moment. So when we maintain this, the image of the Buddha in our mind, if we die at that moment, nate gamisanti apaya. It is impossible for that person to be born in hell. Because the thought, the last thought, in that last thought the Buddha was there. Then what will happen? Kahaya manusang deyang, after his or her, devakayang paripures santi. Go and join with the other devas. See? But maybe a short period. But you escape from the unfortunate state. So if rebirth take place as human beings, then develop more and more good karmas. After that, develop further and further. Escape from the bad effect. So these are very good advices given by the Buddha for us to console our mind, to gain more confidence, to make up our mind, not to depend on others, but by creating such confidence in our mind. Enjoy all the good deeds what we have done. That gives, here, the Buddha said, that gives sukha, happiness. At that moment, this sukha, this happiness is more important than anything else in this world. Sabbasya dukkhasya sukham pahana. Then the highest sukha, greatest, is sabbasya dukkhasya sukham pahana. By eradicating, keeping away any kinds of physical and mental frustration, disappointment, unsatisfactoriness, pain, sufferings. If these evil forces are not disturbed the mind, at that time we experience the highest sukha, the happiness. Because the mind is free from all the evil forces. But at this moment, our minds are not free from any of these things. What we are doing actually, we control them, we suppress them by taking certain other objects into the mind. Now you are listening. You pay attention. So the mind occupied with this. So no chance of the evil forces to create mental pollution, disturbances in your mind because you are concentrating. If you want to go further, then, as mentioned by our Reverend, develop more and more kindness, compassion, sympathy, metta. Then the cruelty, anger, jealousy, grudge, ill will, all the evil forces go down and down and down and down. No chance to flare up, but remains there. The roots still remain there. For the time being, we can suppress and control them, then we feel very happy. we experience some sort of happiness by controlling them. But when we allow them to stir and flare up, those evil forces play havoc, completely ruin our mind, our body, our way of life, our activities, everything will be in a chaotic condition. Depends how we handle our mind. So we should not allow our mind to act as it like. That is why knowledge and understandings are important. How to handle this mind. Otherwise, by nature, we are not good people. That is why we are trying to be good. If we are good, not necessary for us to use this effort to be good. We know we are not good. We know we have weaknesses. We know we have bad habits. But not so easy to control them. And then we try to gain more knowledge, more understanding, how to handle with them. Then the mind cannot act as it wants. The trouble is this. Many people don't like religion, especially Buddhism. Why? Buddhism asks you not to do what you like to do. That is the problem. Then they say Buddhism is not practical. You want to do so many things, but Buddhism says cannot. Then you say Buddhism is out of order, out of date. Buddhism never supports your ideas that you have created according to your selfishness, your craving, your attachment. Buddhism always advises to calm and control and disciplines and train by knowing the danger. Because you get into trouble if you allow your mind to act as it wants. So religion is needed here to train that mind. Your religion means your knowledge, your understanding. Then, Sutta Matteyata Loki is always emphasized in the Buddha's teaching. Not only actually in the Buddha's teaching, when we refer to other religions also, similar sayings we can find. Here, Sukha Matteyata Loke. Those who fulfill their duties toward their mother, Matteya, mother, gain wonderful happiness. Because we can understand how our mother suffered, how much time he spent for us. At the risk of her life, she has given birth to us. We can understand how she had to suffer. So we are indebted forever. Whether they are good or bad, that is immaterial. So, if we can do something to release their suffering, their worries, their sicknesses, their problems, that gives us wonderful happiness. We have done our duty towards our mother. Sukha Matteyata Loki. In the Buddha's language, always mother comes first, then the father. Never say father and mother. Buddha says mother and father. Mother is more important. Mother is the one who suffers. Therefore, mother comes first. Then, just now I told you, not only Buddhism, Hinduism, Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, in Sanskrit. Regard your father and mother as your God. Not create a God, as God. Regard them, that means respect them as God. Bible also says, honor thy father and honor thy mother. It's not a new thing. And this one also, I think I have told you what Prophet Muhammad has said. That is very touching. When his daughter asked, you always talk about heaven or paradise. Can you tell me where it is? Then Muhammad gave very meaningful answer. He said, heaven is at the feet of your father and mother. That means when you respect your father and mother, when you fulfill your duties towards your father and mother, you will be in heaven. So every religion, again, in the Buddha's teaching, he has introduced certain important duties for us to fulfill if we really want to go to heaven. Because our main purpose is not the heaven. We have to go beyond that. But those who are keen, those who like to go to heaven, here the Buddha has shown the path, the method, what to do. But he never says you must pray to God and worship and do some offering, then you can go to heaven. No. He started Mata Petti Bharang Jantu. First you had to support your mother and father. Mata Petti Bharang Jantu. Kule Jetha Pachayana. Then you had to respect the elders in your family, especially in your family. Your auntie, your uncle, your grandmother, grandfather, elder sister, elder brother, you have to respect them because they have more experience about life. There are many things for you to learn from them. So when you respect them, you listen to them. Then you can adjust your life to avoid certain problems and disturbances. Respect the elder. Sandhang Sakila Sambhasa. When you talk, you must know how to talk without using harsh, wicked, vulgar words which hurt others' feelings. You must know how to talk gently, politely, without hurting others' feelings. A man who came and scolded a monk by using all the vulgar words, wicked words, the monk was listening very quietly. So when he ended his scolding, the monk asked, "Are you satisfied?" Then he said, "Yes. In that case, I am also satisfied. Because I supported you for you to gain that satisfaction. You can understand the reaction. If I also jump and shouted at you, you never gain that happiness, that satisfaction. So I contributed something for you to gain that happiness. Therefore, I am also happy. This is the technique, the Buddhist way, how to have. You can adapt this simple thing, very simple, but can avoid very big problems and violence and enmity. Therefore, we must know how to talk, what to talk, without aggravating the situation or the anger. Sandhang sakila sampa. Pesuneya pahaina. Try to avoid slandering. Many people are very busybody, they cannot keep quiet. When somebody says something against another person, that person will get a taxi and go there and tell him, you know, so-and-so scolded you using vulgar word, wicked word, and create enmity and create problems. This is the nature. You enjoy by doing that. So, we had to avoid that. If there is any possibility to settle that problem, what they had, then it will become a very good service, without aggravating the situation, without creating enmity, without making them enemies. Sandhang sakila sampa, pesuneya pahai, machera. If you are stingy, if you are selfish, you cannot go to heaven. You had to contribute something. You had to donate something for the happiness and welfare of others. Think of others. So by disregarding others, simply by enjoying yourself, you cannot go to heaven. Vinaya. You must know how to maintain your discipline. There are 3 ways. Manasa sangvaro sadhu, sadhu vachaya sangvaro, kayena sangvaro sadhu, sadhu sabbhatha sangvaro. First, we have to discipline our own mind. Just now I told you. Don't allow mind to play havoc by creating all sorts of evil, wicked, stupid ideas. Handle the mind properly, train the mind. Then there will be mental discipline, mental training. Vachaya sangvaro sadhu. When we talk, we must know what we talk. You must know what are the suitable words and terms and subject matters to talk. We must know to whom that we are talking. Different technique. Art of talking. So by knowing this, we have to talk. Otherwise, we can go on talking all sorts of rubbish. Create more confusion, more misunderstanding. Nothing to contribute. Kayena sangvaro sadhu. When we do something, when we walk, when we eat, when we lie down, when we sit down, there must be some sort of discipline. In every action, there must be discipline. The other day I told you, amongst those 227 precepts for the monks, most of them, more than 75%, to discipline their way of life. Otherwise they are not immoral or harmful or wicked or dangerous. Menace. So the Buddha wanted to introduce very gentle disciples who knows how to maintain their dignity and good image. I think you can remember some of those precepts I told you. When we eat, so before we bring the food nearer to our mouth, we should not open the mouth earlier. And this is one of the precepts. Again he says, alright, the food is in your mouth, when you are going to try it out, you should not talk by keeping the food in your mouth. You must swallow. If necessary, you have to talk. Again he says, after eating, you should not do like this. If not, you should not do like this. Of course, also use chopstick, I think. But Indian way of eating, they say there is no taste if they don't lick. When you ask, why do you want to lick? No, there is no taste, The Buddha, having seen all those things, they must avoid these things. Not gentle. He wanted to introduce this kind of discipline in various ways. So discipline is the most important thing to observe the precept. Precept meaning we follow certain discipline. Keeping away from those, certain things are harmful, certain things are very cruel or wicked, certain things are very immoral, or they are dangerous things. But the rest, all the manners, or some sort of traditional practices respected by the elders, all over the world, many parts of the world. Then, I have not completed. I had to tell you, you have to go to heaven, all the important items. Mata petti bharanjantun kule jittha pacayanang sandhang sakila sambasang pesuniya pahayanang macchera vinaya. Discipline. Macchera vinaye yutta. Satya. What is satya? Truthfulness. Satya. Chaturarya satya. Satya or satya. Four noble truths. Satyam means truth. If you tell lies, you can go to heaven. You can pray and worship and do everything, but if you tell lies, you can go to heaven. Because devas never tell lies. They're only human beings. So, if you are keen to go to heaven, you have to train yourself here before you go to heaven. Otherwise, when you go there, you spoil the heaven also by telling lies. Satya. The most difficult thing. The most difficult thing for human being to do. Telling the truth. Because we have some extraordinary development in our mind. Our cunningness, our hypocrisy, and cheating, bluffing, swindling. All these qualities we can find in a human mind. Others do not know how to do it. Other living beings do not know how to pretend. Take for instance, if a dog is fierce, dog never go by taking the tail, and then suddenly come and bite. No, from the very beginning, the dog is fierce. Because dog cannot trick him. But as human beings, we can approach others with smiling face, nice sweet words and wonderful. And finally, catch. This development we can find only in human mind. This is development. Developed our mind with selfishness. Then crookedness, cunningness, in cheating, bluffing, swindling, pretending. We develop all these qualities. These are the biggest problem in our human society. It is very difficult for us to trust another human being. Animals, we can trust. We know they are dangerous or not. But humans, we cannot trust. Whether they are dangerous or honest or sincere or cunning, we cannot understand. We have to associate with for a long time, to know. Even husband and wife who lived together long period, still wife cannot understand the mentality of husband cannot understand the mentality of wife. Because they can pretend, never show the real mentality, the nature of the mind. Always pretend. So these are the biggest problems that mind creates. But when you develop our knowledge and understanding and the reality in life, then slowly we can reduce these human weaknesses. After that, Koda Vibhungnara, Koda, anger, hatred, ill will, there are few words. So by keeping anger, by keeping hatred in our mind, we cannot go to heaven. We are not qualified to go to heaven. Now you can see the Buddha's method. If you really want to go to heaven, you have to cultivate all these qualities. Then, whether you have religion or not, it is immaterial. Whether you are Buddhist or Hindus or Christian makes no difference. These are the humane qualities, virtues. So these humane qualities, anyone can develop even without depending on any religion. So the Buddha's way of teaching is such. Without depending on any particular religious label, we can cultivate all the good qualities to be real human beings. So if you are keen to go to heaven, you have to follow this. No shortcut. Remember. Then, Sukha Vatteyata Loke Atho Petteyata Sukha. Now comes the father. Petteya means father. Fulfill the duty toward the mother, then toward the father. Many people say, our father has not done anything for us. They neglected us, discriminated, kissed him. So why should we respect them? Why should we support them? But still, he is the father. According to the teachings of the Buddha, although he is a very bad father, If you kill him, you commit a mortal sin. That because father is father. His personal character behavior is different. Therefore, we must act wisely. Assume your father ill-treated you. Now you are doing well. Many people know that your father has ill-treated you. But if you go and help your father, when he is in trouble or when he is old, everybody respects. You say, yes, we know how the father treated him when he was young. Now he is supporting the father. He is a real gentleman. Everybody respects. Nobody says, what a stupid son. Why do you want to go and support the father? Because he did not do anything for you. So that should not be the attitude. Then, Sukha samanyata loke. Support religious people. Not only Buddhist monk, not only reverend. Anybody who leads a religious life, belong to any religion. We should not think the Buddhist monks are the real religious people, others are not religious. No. We associate with them, we notice, very gentle, very religious, very pure in their thoughts, in their words, in their action. They try to lead a harmless, respectable religious life. Some are, of course, cunning, selfish. So if you support, according to the Buddha, any religious man, belong to any religion, you gain happiness. When the Buddha mentioned the name of the religious people, he always mentioned the names of other religious groups also. If you want to give dana, he always say, samana, brahmana, paribrajika. These are the religious people who lived at that time. Samana means belong to two religions, Buddhism and Jainism, Samana. Paribrajika, those who have renounced the worldly life to lead the pure, simple, humble life. They are called paribrajika. Brahmana, who perform all the religious rites and rituals and ceremonies and pray for others as religious teachers. So the Buddha always advised, we want to offer something, give the samana, brahmana, paribrajika. See how liberal, how meaningful his religious way of life and advice given. Then, sukha samanyata loke ato brahmanyata sukha. Those who attain higher stage of sainthood, like Sotapanna or Sakadagami or Anagami or Arhanta, higher stage of achievement in their religious way of life. So you can support them, help them, also you gain wonderful sukha or happiness. When you think, oh, today I offered dana to that religious man. He is a pure religious man who controls all his weaknesses and defilements from his mind. Try to avoid all the evil deeds. Try to cultivate his life and his mind. Try to do some service to others to lead a religious life. So by considering all these qualities, when you offer something, you develop the merits also, because of the confidence that you give. Sukham yava jara sila. This is very interesting. Yava jara, until we grow old. Yava jara. Silam, the precept. Sukham, use happiness. Because many people think we can observe 8 precepts and meditations when we grow old, not when we are young. The Buddha's advice is observe your precept until you grow old. Because after growing old, there is nothing for you to observe automatically. You cannot violate any of these evil things. Because you are weak, you are blind, you are deaf, you cannot do anything. So naturally, but don't think you are observing any sila at that time. You keep quiet because you cannot do. You are not observing any sila, any precept at that time. The sila, the precept you have to observe when you are young, when you are energetic, to control, to train, to discipline your senses, your greed, your lust, your temptation. Then the sila is there. Because at that age there is nothing to train. Sukham ya jara sadhu. So sila, we have to observe until we grow old, till when we are active, energetic. When our senses are very keen to enjoy worldly pleasure, then observe the precept also, to train the mind. After growing old, you can keep quiet. Naturally, you keep quiet whether you observe sila or not. Sukham ya jara sadhu. Then, Sukha Saddha Patittita. That is also it. When you develop your saddha, your faith, your devotion, your confidence, that gives wonderful happiness. Saddha. Because saddha is very important for us to develop, to establish at the beginning. There are few discourses. Saddha Bijan Tapo Vuddhi, Asi Bharadwaja Sutra. When this Brahmin was working in the paddy field, the lunchtime, the Buddha also visited with his begging bowl. He was standing there. Then the Brahmin scolded the Buddha. We are working here the whole day, and you came here without doing any work with the begging bowl. Why not you also come and do some work here, if you want to eat? Then the Buddha said, I also work. Don't think that I do not work. How do you work? Are you going to see anything with you to work? You don't know what are the things that I use to work. What are the things? Then the Buddha starts. Saddha bijang tapo utti panya me yuganangalang hiri isa mano yottang sati me phalapachanang. So he went on mentioning all the what you call things that he used for the work. Then the first one is saddha. I use saddha to work. What is saddha? My faith, my devotion, my confidence. I use saddha as bija. Bija means biji, seed. Farmers use the paddy, the seed. But I use my saddha as paddy seed. Because when the plant grows, the root goes down. When the plant goes bigger and bigger and bigger, the root support the tree, otherwise the wind attacks the tree, hold up. So the root support the tree without allowing the wind to attack the tree, to hold up. In the same manner, when we develop our saddha, our faith, our devotion, our confidence, when we are going to do some work, whether religious work or any other business or married life, first we have to develop this saddha, this faith and confidence and devotion. And then it will become unshakable, not easy to collapse. The foundation is laid already. So the saddha, faith, is the foundation for us to build up our religious way of life. Whatever we develop without faith, without devotion, without confidence, halfway we collapse or give up. We have given the prominent place for saddha. Another place, Alavaka Sutra, Alavaka, the cannibal. The Buddha wanted to train him to be a civilized man. He wanted to challenge. So he could not topple the Buddha. When he asked question, you must answer my question, otherwise I am going to split your heart into pieces. He challenged the Buddha. The Buddha said, Natvahantang also passami sadevake loke samarke sabrahmake sasamana brahmaniya pajay. The Buddha challenge. You must understand, there is nobody in this universe, among the human beings or devas or brahmas or maras, who can do that to me. Then I'll work the right. Sometimes the Buddha stands very firm. Then he said, all right, I'm going to ask this question. You have to answer. All right? Then I'll ask, Kim sudavitang purisassa vittang Kim su suchinno sukhamati. Three sub-questions. So the first question, Kim sudavitang purisassa vittang. What is the highest wealth for human being? Kim sudavitang purisassa vittang. What is the highest wealth for a human being? Then the Buddha gave the answer, Saddhida vittang purisassa vittang saddha. Saddha, confidence, faith, is the highest wealth for a man, for a human being. Because by establishing this properly, they can carry on any work. It will never become a failure. Saddha. Another discourse. Saddhaya tarati ogam. Ogam means this great pool, the sansara, great ocean of sansara. We are struggling here in this sansara, in this ocean. If you want to get rid, if you want to cross this to land, a safety place, we have to develop saddha, confidence. Without confidence, without saddha, without faith, we cannot cross the great ocean of samsara. Saddhaya tarati ogam. Again, he also introduced 7 kinds of wealth. Sattarya dana. That is what young Rahula, the Buddha's son, when 7 years old, Rahula's mother, so when the Buddha was coming, he said, "That is your father," because this child has never seen the father. The very day the child was born, he renounced the world. Every day this child asked, "Where is my father?" The others said, "Father, I have no father. What happened to my father?" So this poor lady could not console this child. So when he was 7, the Buddha visited. And seeing he is coming, he said, "Esahi tuiha pita narasiho." That is your father, the lands of the human being. Then tell him, go and ask. He got a very big property, wealth. Go and ask. Then small child went to the father, the Buddha, and "I heard you got a very big property or wealth. Can you give this?" "Oh yes, why not? Why not? Come, I'll give." He took him to a temple and shaved his head and ordained. 7 years old small boy to give his wealth. Then the father, the Buddha's father, old man, he was so worried. Went to the Buddha and he said, "I'm very unhappy. You have done a very cruel thing, very bad thing. When you left the palace, this poor child was the only one who could console me. Now you have taken away that poor boy also." Scolded the Buddha. "Anyway, I request you have to give instruction to your disciples not to ordain any boy without the permission from the parents." The Buddha accepted. That is why that today we cannot ordain anybody without permission from the parents or from the guardians. Otherwise it is a mistake because of that testing. So, when he introduced what are the 7 kinds of wealth, Saddha dhanang, Sila dhanang, Hiri ottappiyang dhanang, Sutta dhanang cha, Chago cha, Panyame Sattamang dhanang, 7 kinds of dhana, wealth. Among those 7, Saddha again comes first. Saddha is the highest wealth among those 7 kinds of wealth that we have to develop. Now here it is mentioned, when we develop this Saddha in anything what we do, confidence, we gain happiness and it will never become a failure because we use our full effort. We have already established very firmly. When you come to religious way of life, if you do all these activities without faith and devotion and confidence, you never gain anything. Not only for the namesake or just to follow others or as your traditions. Develop your understanding. Then the mind becomes very firm. Then Sukha Saddha Patitita. Sukho Panyaya Patilabho. So among all those sukhas, Panya, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, realization, gives wonderful happiness. So whatever we do without understanding, without knowledge, without using our common sense, we make a lot of mistakes and later we regret. Therefore, knowledge, understanding is very important for us to develop. Otherwise, life will be in trouble. Always we have to go and ask, approach others what to do. Because we have no knowledge, we have never realized. Always depend on others. If others give wrong information, wrong advice, then we get into trouble. So not to depend on others, but to develop our understanding. Now, your purpose of your coming, in spite of all these traffic jams and disturbances, your own commitment and housework, to gain some sort of knowledge, understanding, useful for your day-to-day life, your family life, the society that you work, how to overcome certain problems and difficulties. At the same time, you are also cultivating, developing, molding your next existence. There are so many things. So you are not wasting your time, because the time that you spend here, you maintain some sort of purity in your mind. Because no time, no circumstances, environments are not force you to create anger or jealousy or ill will or enmity or selfishness or craving all the evil forces. The mind is pure. You try to gain something, grasp something into your mind, then slowly can put into practice, the experience, good result. Then Papanang akaranang sukham, last one. If we can keep away without doing bad things, that happiness is very, very important. Papanang, papa means bad, very low, very wicked, very harmful. Akaranang means not to do. Sukham, happiness. When you abstain or keep away from bad things, then gives wonderful happiness. Amongst 4 kinds of happiness that worldly people experience during their lifetime, according to the Buddha, the Atti Sukha, Voga Sukha, Anana Sukha, Anavajya Sukha. When you have something as your property, you gain happiness, that is important for you. When you enjoy your life by using what you have earned in proper manner, that also gives you happiness. When you maintain your income, your budget, properly without borrowing from others, without depending on others, that independent life also gives happiness and confidence. Then the last one is Anavajya Sukha. When we come to know that we have not done any harm to anybody, that Sukha, that happiness is the highest. So that happiness supports us to gain confidence in our life while we are here. And after our death also, that happiness supports us. And that is what he says, Papanam akaranam sukha. How happy we are if we can keep away from bad things. This is very, very useful sermon given by the Buddha. Okay. So in Australia also you conduct these discussions and talk and very okay. And mind is there anything. Where do they assemble? Group by group in different houses. Oh, that way is better. So when I was there, I remember I also visited few houses to have some discussions. Okay, sharing of maritime. Innina punya kampena upajaya buddhara adari upakarate mata pita piyamana Suriyo Tandi Maharaja Gurram Dhammarapinja Ratna Maharaja Indate Rupa devata yamo nitra manusaja madhyata veripapita sattve satta sukhirantu punyani bhavani me sukhaja tiridantentu Kirang apemo Ina punya kamena Ina udidena Kirang sudate deva Tantu padanu devanam Yirang kadena dhammam Yaro nibbanu mamam Dasantu lakho Yato jato bhave bhave Ujito ativanyu Salle ko viriyamina Mahalamantu Katum seviriye sume Unadi parunato Rammunato arutomu Namo Bhajeto Dhammuto Sampunato Parunamu Yes, announcement. Mr. Boon Kok Chin, who conduct Saturday Dhamma discussion, told me that from tomorrow onward, he will conduct the class on 3 o'clock, 3 to 4, not 4 to 5, start earlier.